Welcome back, fellow AI enthusiasts, to another episode of AI Antics. Today we're embarking on a thrilling journey to teach Jack, our beloved AI numbskull, how to race in Mario Kart 8. Little refresher. Reinforcement learning works as follows. 1. Jack observes the world, or look at that shiny checkpoint ahead. 2. He takes an action, probably the wrong one. 3. We reward or punish him accordingly. No treats for driving into a wall, Jack. And rinse and repeat this process a few million times and voila, you've got yourself an AI that can... well, we'll see what Jack can do. Time to throw Jack into Mario's kart and watch the chaos unfold. A few things to note. 1. We've added auto forward because who needs brake in a race? Well, certainly not Jack. 2. He's going straight into a wall. A+ for commitments, but F for navigation. 3. Check out that fancy progress bar at the top to show his progress. It's also there to remind us how far we are from giving up. I split the track into 4 sections, though we can train him one section at a time. Now, let's add a bunch of Jack clones and crank up the simulation speed. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, well, maybe that was a bit too ambitious. Let's dial it back and stick to real-time speed for now. After hours of training, what have we accomplished? Drumroll, please. Well, not quite what we were going for, but A for effort, I guess. I think it's time for a new strategy. Let's break it down. Can Jack go straight? Yes, it's a miracle. Can he turn? No. Let's teach him to turn when he sees a wall in front of him. He can do it. Let's be optimistic. Well, he does indeed need a lot of accidents and crashes to understand it. Luckily, that's not how we learn things. Well, most people. Progress. He's learned to turn right. Look at him go. Looks like he could already become a NASCAR champion. Now that Jack's mastered the art of turning right, it's time to blow his mind with a revolutionary concept. Turning left. We've widened the track in the turns and let him do his thing for a couple of hours. He can now turn both ways. Look out, Formula One, here comes Jack. Right, it's time to throw him back into Mario's world. He's doing somewhat better. I think it's good enough to kickstart his training process journey. By the way, if you're wondering about the item management, I just wrote some basic code for him to randomly use items at a good time, well, according to the item. He starts to get through that first section about half of the time. Couple more hours and he nails it, more than 9 times out of 10. He tends to hug the bridge, so I made sure to give him a virtual slap on the wrist for each second hugging it. Let's see a first-person view of him going through the section 1. You may also want to know that we simplified drifting. Instead of being a combination of turning and jumping keys, we've added an action to drift that makes him hop and drift using a single key. Time for the second section. In this section, he can pass over or under. Over is probably faster, but he needs to nail the entry. You may have noticed some strange physics going on here. Well, somehow, when the shell hits the barrel, it just shoots it straight up and down. But don't be alarmed yet, it's not the last bug we will encounter. He's somehow handling that second section pretty well, and we can see him exiting it already. A nice surprise also is that during this training, he also improved on the first section, and he now tries to use the shortcut on the left side. Well, it's still work in progress. Now, for an optimistic first try, let's put him back against the several other fast opponents and see how far he makes it. Despite being last, he's not doing that bad. Well, until he hit that turn. And this turn. No, Jack, that won't help. Let's have another training session. We are now letting him train until the end of the third section. He's really getting good at the first two sections now. It's not fully ready yet. As you can see, there are still some fails. He's getting there though. He's now not only using the optimal way in the first section, but also going up on the better path on the second section. Back to section 3. He slowly starts to get through the big left-hand turner, but he often gets stuck on the left fence right after. He really likes that fence, to the point that he's even riding straight through it. Nothing that some negative rewards can't fix. We're now heading to section 4, the last section. Consisting of trolleys to avoid and an anti-gravity path on the left, followed by a downhill into the last turn before the finish line. He's improved a lot since the start. I think he may start to fare pretty well against opponents on the first two sections now. Also, I started noticing some of Jack clones are driving with the anti-gravity wheels. That comes from the fact that they are on the anti-gravity section when the training episode ends, and they're teleported back to the start without deactivating the anti-gravity. Getting into section 4 now, approaching the dual path choice. And Jack seems to be unclear which path to pick. Right, let's fix this by adding a big no-go invisible billboard on that edge. Also remember when I mentioned we haven't seen the last bug yet? Well, here is another one. Looks like the trolley has learned breakdancing. After that much training, it's time to let him race against his opponents again. He starts a bit slow, but no major incidents yet. He also got lucky and caught the bullet item, which sends him flying. All the way to 5th position. Looks like it's gonna be a good run. Until he drives straight into a bad trolley driver. Let's fix this and go for another race. Okay, he's doing even better than the last one. Not taking the first shortcut, but hitting the second. Another bullet. Getting very lucky, Jack. All the way to 1st position. Can you believe it? Is he going to win that race? And I thought we fixed all the bugs. Well, apparently not. Oh well, you'll have to survive the bugs, Jack. You've lost a few positions, but you can still make it. After showing some less optimal driving skills, he is not making much progress. And he's also throwing bombs at himself, which doesn't help. Despite all that, it looks like the opponents aren't doing much better than Jack. He's back on his way to the front, up to 3rd, losing 2 positions to bad driving. 2 last turns before the finish line. Come on! A last chaotic downhill and holding on tight to that 3rd place finish. Well, I'm not gonna tell him, but I did slow down all the opponents by about 10-15% to give him a fair chance of winning. There you have it, folks. How we managed to kind of train Jack through this Mario Kart racetrack, wasting enough processing power to heat up a small country. Totally worth it. And if you enjoyed watching Jack's brain cell multiply or divide, we're not quite sure yet, smash that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Your support helps fund Jack's ongoing therapy for a newfound fear of bananas and blue shells.